All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honors unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles, elder bishops, great millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest, Zion from GMS Atlanta, back with another edifying video. More news and prophecy, and I'll just start with this real quick. This is dealing with the tariff situation with Trump. A lot of things, a lot of products that America gets from China could go up, here in the States, in the U.S., and that could cause a lot of economic turmoil. So, you just got to be on top of the news and watch these things. So it says, tariff live updates, market soar after Trump backs down on tariffs. All right, now yesterday he said that he was going to put 104% tariffs on China. And there was a big noise in the markets about that. But I'll read this update. It says the S&P rose 9.5% after Trump announced he would pause his reciprocal tariffs for 90 days. But economists warned that American importers were not out of danger. Okay, and you can see the market fall as of what was that Monday, and then it started to peak back up. Fell yesterday, and it started to peak back up again today. So that's the latest news on that. Wall Street's gleeful embrace of the policy reversal reflected relief that Mr. Trump would not follow through with most of his plans for the tariffs, which had sent markets into a tailspin and threatened to upend global trade. But while many countries would have their tariffs reduced, Mr. Trump said the relief would not extend to one of America's biggest trading partners, China, announcing that he would instead raise tariffs on its exports to 125% after Beijing announced a new round of retaliation. Okay? And pretty much what this all means is that all this means is whatever happens around the world, here in America, certain other countries around the world, it affects everything else. This is not just, in the ancient world, when you read the scriptures, you had Rome, right? The Roman Empire, you had Greece, you had the Babylonians and different empires, and they affected certain regions for as far as their reach and hold on certain nations went. But in this day and age, this current age, everything is connected, through technology, through the internet. Scripture says, even in the book of Daniel 12, many shall run to and fro. Knowledge shall increase. And that has increased the connection that one nation of people in one country has with another from one continent to the next. So when we speak about the destruction of Babylon the Great, that is going to have a great and heavy effect on the rest of the world. Okay? Now this here is from France 24. It says live, Trump announces 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs, but raises them to 125% for China. Let me get this here. Let's see. Well, that's all I read on that. You just have to pay more attention. But this is it as of now. Facing a global market meltdown, U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday abruptly backed down on his tariffs on most nations for 90 days, while also raising his tax rate on on Chinese imports to 125%, effective immediately. Follow our live blog for all the latest developments. So whatever you get from China, there'll be 125% increase on it. I believe, especially a lot of our women, a lot of our people, especially a lot of our women, use Shein and Temu and Alibaba and even Amazon. All these shipping tariffs and products and mainly the products that we get as far as like commodities and certain things that we get from China. That's going to be increased 125%, right? And all this affects everyone else, right? So I spoke about the destruction that could come. I'm sorry, that will come, and how everything is connected together, right? So when you read Revelation, the 18th chapter, I'm going to show you why and why things today are connected the way they are, because it all leads into prophecy. So this is Revelation chapter 18. Right, Revelation chapter 18. And 9, it says, Lament for Babylon. It says, And the kings of the earth, which are the different nations, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, the her is speaking about America, a.k.a. Babylon, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Because ultimately this place, the U.S. is going to be destroyed. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, America's a great city, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So ultimately, this place is going to be destroyed anyway, but that's going to affect the different countries that import things into Babylon, that America buys, Babylon buys, and wherever else is destroyed. World War III is going to end the rule of the so-called white man, all right, which is Esau or the Edomites, and their true nationality, right, found in the Bible, all right. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and fine wood and all manner of vessels of ivory and all manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and iron and marble and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour and wheat and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves and souls of men, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. So, this economic back and forth, tariffs and trade wars that they're doing, that's the so-called calm before the storm, so to speak, right? Because they're still going to go to war with each other, and ultimately these nuclear missiles that these different countries have in their military arsenals, they're going to be used in this final world war, and they're going to be used to destroy America. Okay? It says, And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, and all things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. So, at the end of the day, these countries are going to mourn when America's destroyed. Okay? So this is just an insight really to just how connected everything is together. Okay? Whether it's Europe, whether it's Asia, whether it's Africa, everything is connected together, especially when it comes to business, money, and trade. And that's going to ultimately lead to the destruction of Babylon the Great. Now, I don't know if I have reported on this yesterday. Let me see. So you got this update here, and I read this. Remember 1 second. Okay, yeah, here we go. Now this was from this is from Monday. I may have spoke on it. Myanmar earthquake rescue efforts wind down as death toll hits 3,600. So that's almost 4,000 people that was destroyed in this earthquake. So that was, heavy judgment. So I just wanted to speak on the update to that. Okay. The death toll passed 3,600 and was still climbing. So it could very well be 4 to 5. You might hear a final update within, by the end of the week. 4 to 5,000 people were destroyed in this earthquake. Right? So now, speaking of this earthquake, it says this. It says Myanmar earthquake, excuse me, potential risk of waterborne disease outbreak amidst devastation compounded by weekend heavy rains. So earthquakes, and you can have an outbreak of a certain pestilence and illness in that region. It says heavy rains that struck Mandalay and Sangay, the epicenter, or Sagang, however you pronounce it, the epicenter of the recent earthquake in Myanmar over the weekend have further complicated the humanitarian situation. The existing lack of sanitation and clean water is now increasing the risk of waterborne diseases, said Oxfam today. Rajan Khosla, Oxfam and Myanmar country director, said the recent heavy rains have added to the challenges faced by the survivors of this earthquake, further affecting those who are already struggling. Hundreds of thousands of people are seeking shelter in temporary accommodations or in open areas with limited access to clean water and proper sanitation. So, a lot of people can get sick. That could lead to an outbreak. And who knows how, the Lord wills it. He might will it to stay in that region. If it gets big, if it spreads, we'll see. But that's going to affect them people over there. Okay? And the scripture talks about earthquakes and upwards of the people I said upwards of the people. Earthquakes and pestilence in diverse places. Okay? See here. I mentioned about the earthquake, Trump. Oh, okay, now, so this here, says Iran to attack Israel before the U.S. in war. Panic after Tehran draws sword on Muslim nations. So it says, now this, I'm going to read a scripture on this too as well. Israel is reportedly preparing for the possibility that Iran could attack the Israeli state with hundreds of missiles when its potential war against the U.S. begins. Israeli media reported that the country is fearing that Iran may miscalculate. And it says, watch for more details. I believe another headline that I saw, I'm not sure if this got updated, that said that Israel could attack Iran, right? Which ultimately, the state of Israel is going to lead America into the war over there in the Middle East, pursuant to Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. All right, America is going to be led into the war by America, or Babylon is going to be led into the war by these small hats. Okay, so this is Jeremiah chapter 49, and I don't want to miss it. Let's see. It might be 48. Okay, no, here we go. Jeremiah 49. And this is all about Edom being destroyed. So this is Jeremiah chapter 49 and 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, by Servant Kakwadash, all right, that he had taken against Edom and his purposes, that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. All right. So whether you're an Edomite, whether you're in America, whether in Europe, whether you're in the Middle East, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So Iran and Israel are going to be at war with each other. They're already at war. You got Hamas, you got the Houthis, which are backed by Iran, according to these news outlets. And America is going to have to back Israel up. All right. So in this war, things are going to get hectic. Now, whether it's Iran that strikes Israel or Israel decides to strike, Iran, and then America's, drawn in, it could play out like that. But we'll see. Okay. Now the next one, right? Let me see something real quick. Let me do this. I just want to make sure I get the right precept. All right, Jeremiah 50 and 45. Now this is the same thing, but this is going to qualify really what part of Edom that the Lord is speaking about. So this is Jeremiah 50 and 45. Therefore hear ye the counsel of the Lord, right, that he had taken against Babylon, America, which this is a precept for Revelation 18, right? And his purposes, that he had purpose against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. The flock is talking about the nation of Edom. The least of Edom are who? Those, because they are so-called white people. I don't know what makes people think that the small hats, the Jayish people, are different from the Europeans in America and in Europe and around the world. They're all the same damn people. Same nation of people. Just different ideologies and religions. Okay? So they're going to be the ones to draw America out or Babylon into this war. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So as Israel and Iran and Russia and then their backs are wound up, as they go to war, and then the land of Israel is destroyed, and America backs up the state of Israel, then that is going to also mean the coming destruction of Babylon the Great, or America as a whole as well. So their habitation shall be desolate with them. Right, verse 46. At the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved, and the cry is heard among the nations. And the precept was the same precept that I read in Revelation, the 18th chapter. These merchants in these different countries are going to watch their destruction afar off and mourn. Okay? And more. All right, Revelation 18 and 9 again. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Why? Because of the exports and imports of America to and from their country. So they got rich. All right, it says, shall bewail her and lament for her. When they shall see the smoke of her burning, that's the desolation, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, which is America, for 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. So, that's just, what we're seeing in the news today is a part of Bible prophecy. And that's what's to come. So anyway, with that, hope you were edified. Shalom.